Welcome to episode 2. Let me ask you something most Christians have never seriously considered. Did Adam actually transfer authority to Satan in the garden? Or is that just a popular teaching that doesn't hold up biblically? Because if authority was never transferred, then we've misunderstood dominion. But if it was, then we've misunderstood all that happened at the fall of man. Stay with me because this matters more than you think. Today, we're going to examine what Genesis actually says, what Romans 6 reveals about obedience and authority, why Luke 4 is critical, and whether transfer is the right word. We're not going to argue tradition. We're going to look at Scripture. So the foundation was given as written in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. God gave man dominion. Clearly, we established that in episode 1. Man was given delegated authority, stewardship under God, not ownership, but real governing responsibility over the earth and everything creeping on it. So the question becomes, if man had authority, what happened in Genesis 3? Let's examine the fall. In the garden, Adam disobeyed God's only command. He obeyed the voice of deception instead of the voice of God. Now, here's the key verse. Go to Romans chapter 6 and read through verse 16. Do you not know that to whom you present yourselves servants to obey, you are that one servant whom you obey? The Greek word that was translated servants twice in this verse is doulos, and it denotes a slave per Strong's Concordance. In the remaining part of verse 6, Paul was stating that those who abandon themselves to sin are in actuality becoming slaves of the devil, while those who obey righteousness are actually yielding themselves to the Lord. So know that authority follows obedience. That principle is consistent throughout Scripture. When obedience shifts, alignment shifts. So did Adam legally sign something over? No. But did obedience reposition authority? That's the real question. Let me ask you directly. Do you believe Adam legally transferred authority to Satan? Or do you believe man simply came under influence? Put transfer or influence in the comments and tell me how this may affect the culture in which you live. I want to see where you stand. In Luke 4, let's take a look closely. During Jesus' temptation, Satan says to Jesus, all this authority has been delivered to me, and I give it to whom I will. The key word delivered, that implies something handed over. Now here's where debate begins. Some argue Satan was lying, but think carefully. Jesus never corrected that statement. He corrected how authority would be obtained, but he never denied Satan's claim of temporary possession for 4,000 years. If this statement were false, that would have been the moment to say so. Instead, Jesus defeated him with, "It is written," not force, not argument, truth. Let's clarify the legal framework to this and be precise about it. God did not lose sovereignty. He did not panic. He did not surrender heaven, but within the boundaries he established. Man misused delegated dominion, the authority given to him. You could say authority was not destroyed, it was misaligned. Satan became what Scripture later calls the prince of this world. That doesn't mean equal to God, it means operating within the fallen system. The earth remained under man's stewardship, but man aligned himself under deception, and authority follows alignment. Why does this matter today? If you misunderstand this, you either blame everything on God's sovereignty. Well, you never know what God's going to do. It's all under his control. Or you blame everything on evil or other people. But Scripture shows responsibility matters. Jesus came as a man, not just as God. Why? Because dominion was given to man, and it had to be restored through a man. That's why Luke chapter 4, verse 6 matters. Satan stating that it was delivered to him. That's why the wilderness temptation matters. That's why the cross was not just forgiveness, but restoration, and so much more. So, did Adam transfer authority? Here's the most biblically responsible way to say it. Through disobedience, man yielded his identity and delegated authority and became aligned under deception, allowing Satan's influence within the system of God entrusted to man. This is not mythology. This is a framework consistent with Scripture. Here's the real issue. If authority was misaligned through obedience, then authority can be restored through obedience. And that's exactly what Jesus did. In the next video, we're going to answer this. Why did Jesus come as a man to restore dominion? Because that unlocks everything. If this challenged you, comment restored and tell me, did this change how you understood the fall? You are not waiting for authority, you are understanding it. Thank you for watching The Tree of Life today, and episode 3 to follow, and be blessed.